and today I wanted to do a video on the basics of making a chipboard album. If you follow me, then you know that I do a lot of chipboard albums, and that's probably one of my favorite things to make. And so I just thought that I would kind of give you the basics on what you need and kind of how to do some of the different techniques to make your albums, and then I'm sure I'll make some more videos later on how to actually do them. But this one's just going to be kind of a 101 just to get you started and get you used to the machines that you could use or want to use or whatnot. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so we're talking about kind of our basics, our 101 on what we would need to make a chipboard album. And one of the first things you're going to need is a cutter. And you can use any kind of cutter. Sometimes I use this one, which is what I use a lot of times just when I'm scrapbooking in general. Or like a bigger version where you can cut a couple pieces of paper. And I did that for a long time, both of these kinds of paper cutters. My favorite thing to use now is actually this. Oops, I have it backwards. Okay, the reason why I like this machine so much, for me personally, when I make a lot of chipboard albums, I'm cutting a lot of paper. This makes it faster for me because I can just zip through a piece of paper like that really quickly, and I could do it in half again, or I could come down here and do it in thirds and make my album. So it makes it faster for me to cut papers for my chipboard album, so I use this. But I realize that a lot of you probably don't make as many albums, or maybe you have a better other kind of cutter than I do, but so I made this investment. You don't have to have it, but just some sort of a cutting device. Okay, the next item, I guess these are kind of not necessarily in a specific order, but the other thing we're going to need is chipboard. And I do a lot of, like, I'll save these. They're not like super thick, but I can double them up. Or some of these ones are thicker, like from the back of, a paper pack, or anything that's just kind of pretty thick. I save and I use them, and I can cut them and do them just by themselves or the other. And you can also buy the thicker chipboard in quite a few different sizes, actually. They have like 4x4, and they have, I don't have the I just have the cover for that. They have 8x8. You can also do acrylic ones with your bind it all. Here's one I started for my daughter in the acrylic, and I just used vinyl for that, and that's just a piece of paper. But you can do vinyl in there, so you can get all sorts of sizes. And I know, here's the 8x8 that go with that. So, it's pretty thick compared to, the ones I get from the other thing. But, and I've seen so many places online where you can get these. So many stores sell some sort of chipboard cover that you can just punch yourself. So that's the next thing you need. And then you also need O-wires, they're called. Zutter makes their own, and they make some in a bunch of different sizes. These are 1/2-inch ones in antique silver, and I have antique brass and black and white and pink and all sorts of color. And they just make all sorts of sizes. Here's my big swatch I bought in bulk. You can make inch. You can really make your book as thick as you need to. So they're called O-wires. That way you don't have to buy just the Zutter ones, but O-wires in whatever size that you want. Okay, now we're to the most important part of making our chipboard album, and that is actually punching the holes in our paper and binding it. And so this is the Zutter Bind It All, and I'm just going to show you a little bit about it. It comes in the box like this. It's pretty compact, and it's got this stabilizing leg right here that you pull out when you're going to go to use it. So I'll leave mine out. It's got this little door that holds your punching so there's no mess. This is the part where you actually close your bindings. In this part is where we punch. And then on this side we have a guide to just kind of help us, and I'll show you a little bit more about that when we're punching. So let's go ahead and punch. Now I've already taken my chipboard and covered my chipboard with the paper I wanted to use. And so I'm just going to set this little lever on the side to my C for cover. And this arrow, there's a little arrow that helps me know that I'm at the C. And then I'm going to push my paper in till it hits that stop. And then I'm just going. It's usually not that hard. I'm at a little bit of a funny angle. So when I'm done punching, I'm going to move this down, and I've got 6 holes, and I'm going to put this little part on that sticks out in through that 3rd hole. So I've put that through my 3rd hole, and now I'm just going to punch the rest. Okay, so there I've got my album cover. And then with the paper, I can punch up to 8 sheets at a time, and I already have this pre-cut to the size I want. And the only thing I'm going to do different is I'm going to actually push this all the way back to the D. And then do the same thing. Okay, now I have all of my papers punched and my holes lined up nicely, so I'm ready to bind. And I'm going to take my front cover and put it on the top, and then I'm going to take my back cover and flip it over so it's on top. Now you see that I did some holes down here, and I'm going to show you why I did that in a minute. But, so I've got all of these. I'm going to take my O-wire, and I'm just going to thread it through these holes. Okay, and then you'll notice that I have some extra. I could have cut it before and just counted down how many holes I needed and cut it before. Sometimes it's easier to do that or to do this. You can do it either way you want. So I've got that there, and I'm just going to go to this side, use some wire cutters, and snip off the edge. Okay? And then I'm going to take my O-wire and line it up so it's kind of flat. Hold my paper, and I'm going to turn it over and put that flat on. Oh, forgot a step. These come with your Bind It All, and you can use them, like if you don't know what size of wire you have, you can use them to match up your wire. And this, oh, it's a 1/2 inch, and then you can know. This knob, you can turn it. There's a little line down here that says 1/2 inch, and I could turn that until I got to a 1/2 inch, but I kind of like to cheat, and I can just stick this 1/2 inch piece in between and twist it until I get it, and I can just pull it up. So that's kind of my cheater method. Okay, so now we want to take this and put these flat on the bottom, and then just take our lever and squinch it, and then it gives you a nice bound edge. And then you can take the back and put it back in the back, and then you have your little book. And you can just do that. I'm going to add a little extra hidden piece. I'm making this little notebook for my daughter. But that is how you use the Bind It All to make an album. And I hope that helped. Thanks.